Helena Petrovna Blavatsky, born in 1831 as Helena von Hahn into a Russian aristocratic family, became the most influential occultist of the 19th century and created with her Theosophy a system whose racial doctrines would, through convoluted paths, influence the ideological foundations of the Thule society and early National Socialism. The documented connection between Blavatsky's esoteric teachings and the Thule Society, founded in 1918, did not occur directly but through a chain of specific individuals, publications and organizations between 1884 and 1918 that absorbed, transformed and Germanized theosophical concepts. Blavatsky's occult education began through her maternal great-grandfather, Prince Pavel Vasilievich Dolgorukov, who died in 1838 and had been initiated into Freemasonry under the rite of strict observance in the late 1770s. His extensive occult library in Saratov became Blavatsky's first source of esoteric knowledge. After her flight from an unhappy marriage in 1849, she claimed to have undertaken a 20-year period of wandering, during which she allegedly met her most important occult mentors. She claimed to have first encountered Master Morya around 1851 in London, who informed her of her special mission. These Tibetan Mahatmas or masters, particularly Morya and Kut Humi, whom she described as Kashmiri adepts of Punjabi origin, allegedly transmitted to her the secret teachings of the Tibetan Gelugpa sect near the Tashilhunpo monastery. These masters formed the foundation of her spiritual authority and were supposedly the source of her teachings. On September 7, 1875, Blavatsky, together with Henry Steele Olcott and William Quan Judge, founded the Theosophical Society in New York City, where she served as corresponding secretary and primary theoretician. She belonged to various esoteric orders and claimed membership in the mysterious Brotherhood of Luxor. In May 1880, she officially converted to Buddhism by taking the 5 precepts in Ceylon together with Olcott, making them among the first Americans to formally convert to Buddhism. In 1888, she founded the esoteric section of the Theosophical Society as an inner circle under her complete control for advanced members. This hierarchical structure would later serve as a model for other occult groups, including the organizational structures adapted by the Thule Society. Blavatsky's monumental contributions to the occult community manifested in her literary works. Isis Unveiled appeared in 1877 in 2 volumes, criticizing contemporary science and religion while asserting mystical experience as a path to spiritual authority. The work presented the concept of an ancient wisdom religion underlying all faiths. The Secret Doctrine, her magnum opus of 1,500 pages published in 1888, was a commentary on what she claimed were ancient Tibetan manuscripts called the Book of Gyan. This work presented her cosmogonic ideas about universal and human evolution and introduced the root race doctrine, which postulated 7 successive root races. The current 5th root race, the Aryan race, was portrayed as the pinnacle of human evolution, while the previous 4th root race, the Atlantean race, was considered the precursor to the Aryans. These concepts would later be fatally misused by German occultists. Blavatsky claimed to possess various occult abilities that fascinated her followers and strengthened her authority. The documented claims included clairvoyance and clairaudience, the ability to see and hear across distances and dimensions, telepathy for mental communication, especially with the masters, materialization of physical objects from nothing, including letters from the masters, levitation of objects and herself, astral projection for out-of-body travel and psychometry, reading the history of objects through touch. Specific documented phenomena included the materialization of a cup and saucer during a picnic in Simla, where witnesses claimed she made dishes appear from under the earth, and the famous Mahatma letters, over 1,400 pages allegedly written by Masters Kut Humi and Morya and appearing through precipitation. Blavatsky's network of occult connections was remarkably extensive. Her direct collaborators included Henry Steele Olcott, co-founder of the Theosophical Society, William Quan Judge, the third co-founder, and Annie Besant, the social reformer who joined the Theosophists in 1889 and became Blavatsky's successor. Notable visitors and members included W.B. Yeats, the Irish poet and occultist who was a member of the Blavatsky Lodge and later joined the Golden Dawn, Mohandas Gandhi, who studied the Bhagavad Gita with the Kitleys and became an associate member of the Blavatsky Lodge in March 1891, and G.R.S. Mead, Blavatsky's private secretary, who became a leading translator of Gnostic and Hermetic texts and influenced Carl Jung. The transmission of theosophical ideas to Germany occurred in several documented phases. In July 1884, the first German Theosophical Society was founded under Wilhelm Huber Schleiden, a conservative German nationalist. From 1886 to 1895, Huber Schleiden published the monthly journal Die Sphinx. Franz Hartmann played a key role from 1896 to 1913 as the primary channel between international theosophy and German occultism. As Blavatsky's direct collaborator at the Adyar headquarters from 1883 to 1885, he later founded the International Theosophical Brotherhood in 1897 and the German Theosophical Society. He edited the journal Lotus Blüten from 1892 to 1901 and translated The Secret Doctrine into German, making Blavatsky's ideas accessible to a broader German audience. The crucial connection between Theosophy and the Thule Society was the movement called Ariosophy, founded by two Austrian occultists. Guido von List, born 1848 and died 1919, created a unique amalgamation of nationalist mythology and esotericism heavily influenced by Theosophy. In 1903, he published his first Ariosophist article in the journal Die Gnosis, directly referencing theosophical ideas. His ideas became known as Armanism and Wotanism, a Germanic occult religion that integrated Blavatsky's root race theories. Georg Lanz von Liebenfels, born 1874 and died 1954, claimed direct contact with Blavatsky and Annie Besant. In his Theozoology, he wrote enthusiastically about Blavatsky's secret doctrine and noted it showed a completely astonishing identity with his own theories. He founded the Order of the New Templars in 1907, which used swastika symbols and promoted Aryan supremacy. Rudolf von Sebottendorf, born 1875 as Adam Alfred Rudolf Glauer and died 1945, was deeply influenced by Eastern mysticism during his time in the Ottoman Empire. His occult training encompassed Theosophy, Sufism and Freemasonry. When he founded the Thule Society in Munich on August 18, 1918, he embraced, as documented by several sources, a form of theosophy that emphasized the racial superiority of the Aryans and used Blavatsky's secret doctrine to launch his own recreation of ancient Germanic myth. The Thule Society adapted several key concepts from Theosophy. The root race doctrine became fundamental to Thule ideology, with the current fifth root race, the Aryan race, seen as the pinnacle of human evolution. The concept of cyclical history and lost civilizations was adopted from Blavatsky, including belief in Atlantis as an advanced civilization with spiritual technological knowledge and hidden knowledge preserved in secret traditions. The swastika, which Blavatsky regarded as a powerful occult symbol representing cosmic forces, was adopted by the Thule Society as its emblem. Runic symbolism and Norse mythology were interpreted through theosophical concepts of spiritual evolution. Important bridging figures between Theosophy and National Socialism included Dietrich Eckart, born 1884 and died 1923, an early Hitler mentor and Thule Society member who combined German racism, his own version of occult Christian mysticism, and a profound knowledge of Theosophy and occultism in general. Alfred Rosenberg, born 1893 and executed 1946, chief ideologist of the Nazis and guest speaker at Thule meetings, developed an occult history of humanity based on lost Atlantis in the myth of the 20th century. The transmission of theosophical ideas to Germany occurred in several documented phases. Personal connections emerged through Sebottendorf's occult training, which included direct exposure to theosophical concepts. Organizational continuity was ensured as the Germaner Norden and Thule Society explicitly built upon Ariosophist foundations, and symbolic adoption occurred with key symbols like the swastika borrowed from Osophical traditions. The political consequences were devastating. The Thule Society sponsored the German Workers' Party on January 5, 1919, founded by Anton Drexler and Karl Harrer, a Thule member. This party was later reorganized by Adolf Hitler into the National Socialist German Workers' Party. The society purchased the newspaper Münchener Beobachter in 1918, which later became the Völkischer Beobachter, the Nazis' most important newspaper. The membership list of the Thule Society reads like a who's who of early Nazi sympathizers and included Rudolf Hess, Alfred Rosenberg, Hans Frank, Dietrich Eckart and Karl Harrer. The historical evidence demonstrates a clear, albeit indirect, influence of Blavatsky's Theosophy on the Thule Society through the intermediate movement of Ariosophy. The ideological transmission occurred through documented channels. Theosophical racial theories were adapted by Austrian occultists Liszt and Liebenfels into Germanic Ariosophy. Personal connections emerged through Sebottendorf's occult training, which included direct exposure to theosophical concepts. Organizational continuity was ensured as the Germaner Norden and Thule Society explicitly built upon Ariosophist foundations, and symbolic adoption occurred with key symbols like the swastika, borrowed from theosophical traditions. This investigation powerfully shows how seemingly abstract esoteric doctrines, when combined with political extremism and racial hatred, can contribute to historical catastrophes. Between 1884 and 1918, a systematic transformation of theosophical concepts into German nationalist ideology occurred, ultimately contributing to the ideological foundation for one of the darkest periods in human history.